century was Marco Christophel worldwide in establishing the party, state, and carrying out project aiming at a total social transformation. But behind the ideological, political, and social changes was a more ambitious and comprehensive goal to remove the mind, psychology, and even character of individuals by means of various party and state policies needed for a new man, and to this new man to make history and perpetuate the revolution. The Mao good soldier and yet the Czech Soviet men are only a few examples of regime's aspiration for creation of such a new person. The ideological vision, the new Soviet man, emerged in approximately 1920. Undoubtedly, the model of the new man underwent changes in the course of time. In the beginning, a revolutionist, a destroyer of the old world, the Iron Commissioner or Stalin and Chekist served as a prototype of the model impression. Later, it was replaced by creator of new world, a builder of utopia, who was required to demonstrate moral substance, energy, and initiative. According to Mikhail Geller, Stalin announced the final ideal, the cock. The new man had to feel like a cock in the giant machine state. According to Philippe Barzin, has concept of the new man does not only to need to new civic or social virtues, but also demanded certain to bettering the biological dimension of the human nature, as well as expanded control over one's surrounding until it would match to exact degree of control on would have her or himself. During 22nd Congress of Communist Party of the Soviet Union in 1961, it has been stated that the new Soviet man should be characterized by a harmonic combination of rich spirituality, moral purity, and physical perfection. The moral code of the builder of communism was adopted in 22nd Congress as part of new party program. The moral code was set of 12 codified moral rules in the Soviet Union, which every member of the Communist Party of the USSR and every Komsomol member were supposed to follow. According to Herman, the codes in gems represented the culmination of a process. Over the course of the previous decade, Soviet Party and government officials, scholars, and experts have developed elaborated publicized the principle of communist morality. Communist morality was supposed to replace coercion as a means of ensuring political and social stability and economic growth. In required political loyalty, hard work, and proper conduct of private life. Under fully developed communist, public and private interests would be perfectly harmonized. But during the contemporary traditional period, in case where conflicts arose, personal needs were to be subordinate to public priorities. Professional and moralist in variety of fields that determine what attitudes and behaviors constitute a correct communist private life for specific instruction about sex, love, marriage, and child rearing. The specialist of Soviet propaganda also developed several prototypes of the new man. Alexei Stakhanov was one of them. Supposedly the miner extended the ship known for more than 14 times, having managed to produce 102 tons of coal in a 6-hour ship in the Centralnaya Elmina Polyer in 1935. He became the model of the new Soviet man, lending his name to Stakhanovito movement, which demonstrated properly socialist attitude toward labor. Similarly, another hero of socialist morality, Pavlo Morozov. He was designed a hero for all Soviet children when he turned in his Kulak father to the authorities doing collectivization, putting loyalty to the party about personal loyalties and national affection. Stakhanov and were held to represent the fundamental moral attributes of the new Soviet man. Selfless, dedication to building of socialism, and unquestioning loyalty to Soviet state. Such propaganda often used the Soviet space program as a symbol, much larger and more ambitious political engineering project. The construction of socialism, communism, both projects involved the construction of the new self, and the cosmonaut was often regarded as a model for the new Soviet man. The Soviet cosmonauts publicly represent a communist ideal and active human agency of social, political, and economic change. On April 12, 1961, Yuri Gagarin historic spaceflight shot the world, sending enthusiastic growth of Soviet citizens onto the stress to celebrate. Who better than Gagarin to embody a new ideological construct, asked Slava Yarovich in the article New Soviet Man Inside Machine. The third media machine quickly generated a propaganda cliché. The Soviet cosmonaut is not merely a router of outer space, not merely a hero of science and technology, but first and foremost, he is real, living flesh and blood man who demonstrate in action how the invaluable qualities of Soviet character, which Lenin parties have been cultivated for decades. All the cliches of Soviet propaganda were successfully exploited by the Soviet school, emphasizing that education is better in the hands of the Soviet states for communism. The most important requirements was imposed on the school to actively innovate both in creation of a new individual. The Soviet school has raised builders of socialist society who are loyal to the Lenin-Stalin party and lead our to communism. The new Soviet man was an archetype of a person who served his qualities that very said to be emerge, emerging, or dominate among all citizens of the Soviet Union, irrespective of the country's culture, ethnic, and linguistic diversity, creating a single Soviet people, Soviet nation. However, the creation of the Soviet new man started in different time in different republics of Soviet Union. Naturally, the outcomes were not similar as well. Having violated international treaties and having sent army soldiers, the Soviet Union occupied the Republic of Lithuania in 1940. The real executive power was exercised by Vladimir Dekhanozov, a Soviet emissary who arrived in Lithuania from Moscow. As early as 17 June 1940, a puppet people's government was formed, which immediately involved in destruction of the Lithuanian society, political institutions, and paved the way for the changing of the Communist Party in the country. In the first years of Soviet occupation, the educational system in Lithuania was reorganized, schools were reformed, symbols were changed, but changes in people were much slower. There were people who started believing in the bright communist future, but the numbers of people who lacked the belief were still big. The formula suggested by Lenin that seeking to create something new, the old should be destroyed, was used. Exiling was one of the mechanisms of the construction. In the summer of 1944, the Soviet reoccupied Lithuania and Joseph Stalin re-established the Lithuanian Soviet Socialist Republic. The mechanism of Sovietization switched on again. The church and the partisans continued to resist it. The family did not go to long Sovietization agent. The resistance of school was much smaller. However, there were teachers who were identified as black spots and accused of insufficient qualification by some Soviet authors. among teachers who were working in school in the after-war period, there were such specialists who did not demonstrate any effort to improve the subject-specific qualification and in idealistic or political awareness. The majority of such teachers were specialists who did not want to falsify history. According to Savitkite, such teachers explained the friendship of Lithuania, Russia, and other nations instead by idealizing the old times and worshipped the merits of Lithuanian youth. The teacher who explained the ideas propagated by this church instead of criticize of religious dogma were ascribed to unqualified teachers. The teachers who would refuse to plead guilty under the various problems. The range of the later was extended from public shaming and to dismissal from school. The majority of teachers had adapted to the situation and were frequently leading a double life, formally supporting the common opinion at school or ever paying an obligatory tribute to dissemination of atheism. The teachers themselves had sharpened religious practice. They would secretly celebrate religious festivals or get married in church or baptized their child, etc. However, there were particular active and ideologically correct teachers. For example, presenting his good experience in upbringing of the new man in the methodological aid. One chemistry teacher wrote that preparing for chemistry lesson, he thought that all studied the works of classics of Marxism and Leninism. It is hard to tell whether the teacher told that his learner and chemistry. Moreover, next to teaching, in particular, was spotlight on upbringing. How famous was Italian? Such kinds of upbringing were in fact used in the process of the both formal or non-formal education. For example, while teaching history, the teachers had to constantly focus on class struggle and to emphasize the harm of religion. Non-formal education was also linked with activity aggregation. School learners were often at basic school, young activities, societies, atheists, newspapers, etc., etc. The bringing of the new land in Soviet Union and Ukraine also was closely related to military training. Having located to the document that regulating activities of children and youth methodology of upbringing, it can be concluded that military education was not in the last place not only in activities of Komsomol and pioneers, but also in who's a little accomplished group of 7, 9-year-old children. For example, discussing organizational aspects of police activities, it was pointed that the children have to aware of kinds of army corps, infantry, artillery, standards, pilots, missilemen, to acquire elementary military skills, acuteness, dexterity, etc. The communist youth organization, like Soviet pioneers and Komsomol, served to remove children from the petit bourgeois family and indoctrinate the next generation into a collective way of life. Let's also remember some poets that are desirable for the new Soviet man. It had to be healthy and happy person. And first photography. It is photography by Antanas Sutkus, a blind pioneer. This photography was forbidden in Soviet centers by Soviet centers because it is not an ideal pioneer shown here. Of course, the blind could be a pioneer, but pioneer could not be blind. And of course, he could not be unhappy. Here is ideal pioneer and new man. Such absurd situations were particularly common. The absurdity is accurately reflected by Soviet jokes, which are frequently not understandable for people who did not live in the system. However, according to some psychologists, such jokes were much more than just humor. They also served as certain protective mechanism. Other protective mechanisms also existed. One of them is discussed by Vytautas Kavolis, an American sociologist of Lithuanian origin. According to Kavolis, seeking to understand the relation of Lithuanians with communists, a psychological insight into Lithuanian national characters is needed. The later apparently is not characterized by the internal strength of principles, consent, faith, and obligation. Its strongest element is a protective instrument which, like varies the Kirchhoff's pains, is applied every time something penetrates by force. If the same thing is introduced in a nice manner, it is likely to true. In the late Soviet period, referred to a period of boredom by historians, a protective thesis to function. It can be described among the myth of Sisyphus. Damaged by the Communist Party, the Soviet society kept pushing a builder of a mountain to there was no point in pushing. The builder itself and in making attempt to reach the peak of the mountain, therefore existence was not relief anymore. This was pure routine. In fact, weariness of Sisyphus was rather psychological than physical one. He had learned to imitate war and economic deficit and social poverty, was finally his life with daily creation in invention of certain maneuver and compensation mechanism. Therefore, this boredom was rather specific, and here we may refer to equivalent consciences as well as to ambivalent praxis. The praxis were frequently ritualized and French tended with purposeful ceremonies. Therefore, importance has been lost. However, people used to attend them patiently to the paying board, imitating interested and activities. The Soviet public life was full of such practices as well, but were much better observed and concentrated in Soviet school. The results of such Sisyphean task was really a new kind of man. However, it was not what a Soviet ideologist has expected. Homo Sovieticus mushroomed inside an encyclopedic new man.
I have a question for you. Do you know if any other educational system has defined so explicitly the new man model?
Yes, it is a new man, for example, now soldiers also like Che Guevara is the prototype of new man.
And apart from the communist,
yes, I think maybe now in Korea, this type of new man.
It's very directed.
Yeah, but it's not only in Soviet Union, because in all Eastern Bloc, I think it is this prototype of new man.
Are we asking questions now or at the end?
Maybe briefly, 1-2 questions.
Okay.
Now and then later.
Thank you for your presentation. I found this very interesting. I would like to ask you if you mean by Soviet man, a man? Does a person or a person in general?
No, it is individual, because it is a little bit different. Soviet women, but it is not enough time to explain where is it.
Because all people you have shown
but it's
are all...
about a new individual.
Okay, but you have only presented males as an example.
But it is in Russian it is well Sovietsky человек. It is the same. It is man or woman or children. It is just person.
Okay.
I see also some relations with the concept of new man in fascism, also Catholic concept of new man. Just that in this case, Marxism, Leninism is is also a way of belief, or maybe even some anti-religion or sort.
No, I think it is, if we talk about, for example, Nazism and Leninism, and compare pioneers and Hitler Jugend movement, and it is very similar. So, the creation of the new young person, for example, by pioneers organization and Hitler movement, it is very similar.
You said that the image of a Soviet man applies to all different nations under the Soviet Union. How would this relate to the concept of Russian dominance or Russian empire? If the Soviet Union is a Russian empire, how is the new man related to Russianness?
Yeah, I try to find the difference between Russian Soviet man and Lithuanian Soviet man. Of course, the difference is but it is not very latest socialism. The latest period it is the same man, Homo Sovieticus. But when we talk about, for example, 1940, it is absolutely different because in Russia this process started in 1920, in Lithuania just in 1944. And in Lithuania was very strong Catholic Church. And of course, the ideal of new man is absolutely different in Catholic Church and in Soviet ideologies. So it is like this also because Lithuania not very want to speak in Russian. We always had our Lithuanian languages, absolutely different type of languages, not Slavic language. So it's not easy to learn the Russian languages. Obviously, so. And family.